Hello everybody, Xanaphar here, and today I am doing a review of Ultraman Tiga episode 4 of the 4kids dub. I just want to say my opinions on the Avenger episode before we get into the 4kids dub. I love this episode because it's a really sad episode because it talks about grief and losing people. It's just really well done. I love the stuff with Shindo. Shindo just fantastic. This is his standout episode. This episode is just really good. Well, let's get into the 4kids dub episode. Let's talk about the characters. Let's talk about Shindo. Shindo, I would still say, is really good in this episode, and he mostly stayed the same, but there is one big change. They made him friends with the lost space crew. I guess it would explain why Shindo is so emotional in this episode, but I don't really like the change. I like Shindo in the Avenger episode a lot more. In the Avenger episode, Shindo is upset because he understands the family's grief about losing people. One thing I like about Shindo is when people are involved, he always gets upset about it. Besides that, he does have some dialogue changes, but he mostly stays the same. He still gives a plan to defeat the kaiju at the end of this episode. So I would still say Shindo is really good in this episode. Let's talk about Captain Haruma. Captain Haruma is the worst in this episode. She cased off Shindo at this mission. I do think is understandable because he does have that punctual connection. One thing I did not like at all was the fact she threatened Shindo she was going to fire him. The original Captain Haruma would never do that, and that is awful and makes her so unlikable. I do think Captain Haruma in the 4kids dub is my least favorite character, and that's funny to me because Captain Haruma in the original Ultraman Tiga is my favorite character. I just hate what they did to her in this episode. She was just awful. The rest of the characters, Daigo, Rina, Madakata, and Hori, they all stay the same. With the characters in this episode, I would say they are just okay. I don't really like the changes they made. I do prefer the Avenger characters from the Avenger episode a lot more. Let's talk about the effects. Let's talk about Ultraman. I think he's a really cool kaiju. I love his concept with him being a spaceship turned into a kaiju. That is really interesting. And the crew's souls are in him. That is very interesting and really sad. He does kind of remind me of Gigan with him being a cyclops and he has hooks. But also Jamila from the original Ultraman. Just a very sad, tragic kaiju. And the Ultraman Tiga fight, I really like, because Ultraman Tiga can't even defeat him in powered form. It shows how strong Ultraman actually is. So I would say the effects are really good in this episode. Let's talk about my criticisms. Well, you already know one of my criticisms is Captain Haruma, but my other criticism, they cut the Jupiter Tree crew reunion with their family. They mention it in the episode, but they don't show it. I hate the fact they cut that, because that scene is so well done, it's so emotional and sad. It makes me sad every time when I watch it, because seeing your loved one once again is so emotional, and it's just beautiful scene, and I just hate the fact they cut it. What do I like about the 4kids episode? I like the fact they kept the Avenger ending with the Jupiter 3 sacrifice. I kinda thought they were gonna use the reunion scene at the ending, showing the Jupiter 3 team survived, but no, they kept the Avenger ending with their sacrifice, and I expect that. Also, here's some jokes I liked in the Ultraman Tiga 4kids episode.
It broke the code. That creature must be a mathematical genius.
Could you be any more vague? Perhaps Santa Claus came early. A ship in time saves 9.
Ugh, that's wrong.
Big, tall, and ugly. Not even his mom could love that face.
Do not adjust your TV set. There is nothing wrong. The recording is designed to appear wavy.
What is my final thoughts for episode 4 of Ultraman Tiga, the 4kids dub? My thoughts on this episode, I think this episode is just okay. I do think this is my least favorite episode of the 4kids dub so far, just because I love the Avenger episode so much more. Well, that is it for this review. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to tell me down below what you think of episode 4 of the 4kids dub or the Avenger episode. And what do you think of the change they did with Shindo? I would love to hear your thoughts. If you're new, subscribe. If you like this video, drop a like for this video. Xanaphar is out.